Hi, I'm Victor Jakes here in Carson City. Do you remember in January when Governor Brian Sandoval gave his State of the State address? Along with calling for the largest tax increase in Nevada history, he promised, quote, to pass the right reforms for our collective bargaining laws. We must ensure that districts are spending money where it is needed most, and that a reform on education investment is not overshadowed by education compensation models, end quote. Well, it's day 113 of a 120-day session, and no substantial collective bargaining reform has even made it out of the final committee in the first house. There has been movement on minor reforms, like protecting ending fund balances in SB 168, but the collective bargaining bill with the most hype has been SB 241, introduced by Senate Majority Leader Michael Roberson, which has already passed both houses. When you first read SB 241, it sounds like a substantive reform, but when you examine the details, you'll find it only makes cosmetic changes. First is the section dealing with union leave time. Union leave time is where government pays union workers to work for their union. SB 241 requires unions to reimburse government agencies for union leave time, or to offset the leave time by the value of concessions made by the employee organization in the negotiation of the collective bargaining agreement. That's what unions already claim happens with union leave time. So while this section sounds good, it will change nothing in practice. Next, the bill limits but still allows government employees to receive compensation increases after their contract expires, and increases the number of mandatory bargaining sessions from 4 to 8. Then it says that any administrator making over $120,000 in salary isn't allowed to bargain collectively. That sounds nice, but because $120,000 is in salary, not total compensation, that only applies to 37 employees in the Clark County School District and 27 employees in the Washoe County School District, some of whom already can't collectively bargain. And because the $120,000 increases are $120,000 increases with inflation, it will only include a handful of more employees in the upcoming years. There are a couple of good provisions. Principals are at will for their first 3 years of employment and have to reapply for their positions every 5 years. But that's it. There's nothing in SB 241 about teachers, which is the most important school-controlled factor in student achievement, or changing outdated employee compensation models like Sandoval promised. There is still time for the legislature to pass substantive labor reforms, like AB 182 or AB 280, but the clock is ticking. Without those reforms, calls for higher taxes will just be shoveling more money into the same broken system.